I'm so glad that you could tune in today. Today's practice, this practice will be a gentle practice, a Yoga 1 practice geared towards the offering more just of a gentle yoga practice, and one maybe for more beginners, or those of you that would like maybe a slower and more soothing practice. We're going to still move our body, we're going to breathe, and we're going to focus on nourishing ourselves today. This will be about 30 minutes long. I'm noticing that I tend to talk a lot more. I mean, I can talk a lot anyway, but I'm talking a lot more as I'm taping these videos, and I'm not sure why that's happening, but there's just a tendency to do that, so I'm going to try harder not to talk as much to allow you enough time to really immerse yourself in your pose and enjoy your yoga practice. So go ahead and take your comfortable seat now. If you're sitting on a blanket, you want to be sure that your hips are level and let your spine lift. Rest your hands and lengthen through the crown of your head. Just feel this nice connection with the ground. Feel this length through your side body. Your heart is lifting as you give yourself this time wherever you are in your home, or if you're not at home, if you're somewhere else, wherever you're practicing today, tune into the environment around you. And just notice the sounds around you. I have the door open, so I can hear the sounds of the birds. I'm hoping that you can hear that too on this tape. Notice the feel of the air on your skin. Notice how your clothes feel resting on your body. And turn inward now, turning away from the outside world and turning inward to your breath. And wherever you feel the breath the most in your body, it could be your nose, it could be your chest, it could be your belly, wherever you notice the breath the most, let your attention settle there. Let your breath deepen. And giving yourself this opportunity to be nourished by your breath. And connecting back to your anchor. We can think of our breath as our anchor, just like when we feel the sensation in our body, that can be our anchor. And that can really support a feeling of being grounded and stability in our body. Feel the breath flowing in and out. There's this quote that I love by Theodore Rothke. Deep in their roots, all flowers keep their light. Deep in their roots, all flowers keep their light. And we're just seeing the beginnings of spring. We're starting to see the flowers starting to make their way up from the ground, and the buds appearing on the trees, beginning to show those first signs of blossoming. And deep within their roots, they carry that essence, that light within. And just like us, we have that light within us. We have that goodness, that strength, that essence that's at the heart of our being. And, times like this that we're going through, life tends to create layers over that light, over that essence. But it's there. And so connect back to yourself by linking to your breath. Feel yourself here practicing, even though we're in separate places, we're all still connected. And then go ahead and bring your hands to your heart at Anjali Mudra. And let yourself think of something that you're grateful for at this moment. Let that feeling of gratitude bloom in your heart. And now I'm going to chant the sound of Om one time. And if you'd like to chant from wherever you are, that would be wonderful. We can think of the sound of Om too as carrying that aspect of gratitude into our practice, into our day. You know, we have many things to be grateful for, even if it seems like it's a little challenging right now, you know, but little things, maybe that the air is starting to get a little bit warmer. Grateful for the space that you have to practice. Grateful for, you know, family, your pets, whatever it might be. So if you'd like to join me in sharing the sound of Om, go ahead and exhale fully now and take a deep inhalation. And then go ahead and release your hands and open your eyes. Okay, so let's begin with a little foot massage. So extend your legs forward and roll your legs in and out, warming up the hips. And then let's bring the right foot up and use your thumbs to massage the bottom of your foot. Stretch your foot and open your toes. And then bring your fingers down between your toes, or just hold on to the top of your foot if that's more comfortable. Take your toes straight back towards your ankle and forward towards your heel. Do that a couple times, back and forth. Great. And then shake your foot and circle it. And then take it in the other direction too. And then take your fingers out, make a fist, comb down your foot, and pound your foot, and clap your foot. Take your hand to the top of your toes there and pull your whole top of your foot forward towards your heel. And then pick up your leg and you could shake your foot here. Bring your other hand to the floor so you're keeping your spine nice and long, and then move this leg back and forth. So it's supposed to be getting up to almost 80 degrees. I'm going to try to tape a couple classes outside today too. It looks like there might be a little bit of rain forecast, but hopefully not. Okay, bring your leg forward and massage it. Yeah, almost 80 degrees. Wow. And all the trees are starting to show buds, and the daffodils are opening up. We've got some crocuses and hyacinths coming up outside. It's such an exciting time too. And you know, it's so important to get outside. Like even just walking around the yard, or you know, taking a little walk in the neighborhood, or opening the door and hearing the birds sing. It's like all of those are constants, right? All of those aspects of nature keep churning along, and it's good to immerse ourselves in that and to connect with that, just like our yoga practice. You know, our yoga practice can be a constant as well, and can help to keep that fuel going, to keep that fire burning, that light burning bright, and help to nourish us. Okay, now take your fingers out, make a fist and comb down your foot. And pound your foot, clap your foot. Take your toes forward towards your heel. And then pick up your leg and shake your foot a little bit here. And then move this leg back and forth. And then bring it forward, massage it. Okay, now come back to sitting a comfortable way. And if cross-legged position isn't a comfortable way for you to sit, you can always sit with your legs extended, or you could have the soles of your feet touching. You know, every body is different, so find what makes you happy. And then we'll take the arms up overhead, take hold of your left wrist and lengthen to the right. So we'll open up through the side body here. And then inhale to come up, take hold of your other wrist and lengthen to the left. And inhale to come back up. And then turn your palms forward, breathe in, and as you exhale, just let your hands float down. And then turn your palms up, inhale, sweep the arms up. They don't have to go very high. Exhale, turn your palms forward and sweep down. Okay, let's do a couple more. Breathing in and breathing out. connect with your breath and this arm movement, that you're bringing in this wonderful vitality in your body. And at the same time, you're creating a feeling of being stable. It's like you're helping to ground yourself. You're grounding that energy when you turn your palms down, grounding it towards the earth. Okay, do one more. Inhale, the arms sweep up gently, and then exhale, let them float back down. Wonderful. Okay, now take your arms forward, interlace your fingers, pull your knuckles forward, a little opening for the upper back and maybe the back of the neck. And then if you'd like, you could nod your head down. We don't want to pull our chin in hard towards our sternum, but more just like a gentle nod. Good, and then look forward, turn your palms inside out, and then take your arms up overhead. Remember, if this bothers your shoulders or your neck, you can bend your elbows a little bit or bring your hands forward of your forehead. But we're going to lift from the rib cage and then draw the rib cage in so you don't feel like you're overarching through the back. Breathe in, and as you exhale, bring the knuckles forward, nod the head down. So this is a little bit of movement with our breath. Breathe in, take the arms up. Exhale, bring the knuckles forward, nod the head down. Let's do one more. And then inhale, take the arms back up overhead and release your arms down. Wonderful, great. Okay, now bring your arms forward. And this is a pose for energy. It can help just think of it as creating a little bit more vigor if you feel like you need a little bit more vigor. So spread your fingers, extend your arms. Inhale, take the arms out. And as you exhale, bring your palms together and pull your fingertips forward. Inhale, take the arms wide, open the chest. Exhale, pull the fingers forward. So it's like you're opening the shutters and then closing the shutters. You're opening the shutters, letting the sun pour in the morning, and then closing them when it's time to go to sleep at night. Do one more. Inhale and exhale. And then you can release the arms. All right, extend your legs forward, and then bending your right knee, take your right knee out to the side. So if you have blocks, you remember there are different things that can be used in place of a block. So if you have a book, that can be used in place of a block if you don't have yoga blocks at home. But what I was going to say is if your hip bothers you when you open up your leg out to the side in this way, you might support your knee or your thigh with a block. And then this other leg is extended. You're spreading your toes. The foot is active. Now we're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, twist to the right, bringing the right hand behind you. Let your heart lift. Breathe into your belly. And then come back to facing forward. All right, let's switch legs. Extend the right leg forward. Bend the left knee. Let it release out to the side. This foot is active. You might support your knee or thigh with a block. Bring your right hand to the inside of your leg because that's going to keep our shoulder blade on our back. Inhale, lift, and as you exhale, twist open to the left. Your chin's level with the floor. Keep the back of the neck long. And then come back to facing forward. Okay, now bring your feet in front of you, bend your knees, sit back on your hands. Drop your knees to one side, up and over to the other side. We'll do that a couple times in each direction. Do one more to each side. Great. Okay, and then plant your feet about hip width apart with your knees bent. Bring your right ankle to your left knee. So if this seems a little tricky for that left leg, just extend that leg forward, and I'm going to show you from the side. So with my left leg forward, I'm using my heel as an anchor, and I'm lifting and spreading my toes. Because if I do this, first of all, it hurts the front of my ankle. And I also lose the firmness, the engagement in that lower part of my leg. So if I keep this, it really helps to stabilize the leg. And then press down through your hands, lift your chest. Okay, yeah, just like that. I'm going to turn back towards you. And breathe. So good to breathe. So good to be here doing this. And bring your foot back down to the floor. Okay, and then switch legs. Bring your left ankle to your right knee. Let your left knee hug forward. Remember, you can always extend that leg and Lift your toes, anchor your heel, lift your heart. You want to think about looking straight on. We're not dropping the head, nor are we lifting the face up towards the ceiling. Great. And then bring your foot back down to the floor. And then as you sit tall again, just do the windshield wipers back and forth. Okay, let's come to all fours now. Hands and knees pose, tabletop position. So if you want, you could keep a blanket underneath your knees. And make sure you can see me good there. Okay, so from this tabletop position, take your hands shoulder width apart. Bring your hands forward of your shoulders a little bit if this bothers your wrists, if your wrists feel a little tender. Spread your fingers. Press down through all of your finger pads so you feel that engagement through the hands. And as you look down at the mat, tuck your toes under, and now take your right leg straight back behind you. So you get that nice length through the back of the leg. And you can stay here. This is a great stretch for the leg. Or kind of bringing balance into it, we can lift the left arm up. We want to keep it a little bit lower than the shoulder, not, hike it up past the head, but, have it be either neutral with the shoulder or a little bit lower. Keep the back of the neck long. And then if you want, you might hug in and lift that right leg up off the floor. Feel the connection that the limbs are making with the ground. So whatever's resting on the ground, think about pressing down into the ground. That's great. And then lower your hand if it's up and lower your knee. And then set the tops of your feet on the floor. Open your knees a little wider. Take your hips over to the right, back to your heels, over to the left, and back up again. So you're circling with your pelvis. Do a couple more in that direction. I'm just going to get my hair tie here. And then switch direction. Okay, and then finish out your last hip circle and come back to all fours. Great. Okay, and then aligning your knees underneath your hips. Let's take the other leg back behind us this time. Take the left leg straight back behind. And then you might lift your right arm up, feeling that stability in the body. Feel that right shoulder blade on your back. Feel your left hand pressing down into the ground. And then if you want, you might lift that left foot off the floor. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. And then lower your hand and lower your knee. Great. Oops, I'm starting to get out of the picture. Now come down onto your forearms and elbows. Interlace your fingers. We're going to do our forearm dog. Look back towards your knees. Now this might be just enough. This might be just enough of that opening through the back of the neck and building that strength in the upper back. Or you could tuck the toes under and lift your knees up off the ground. Keep looking back. Whichever version of this you're doing, keep looking back towards your legs. And let's take 2 full breaths. And then bring your knees back down to the ground and come back to all fours. All right, now step your right foot forward between your hands. And this is where, too, if you have blocks handy or books, 2 books that are of the similar height, you could have them underneath your hands instead of having the hands on the floor. Remember, the blocks go, there's 3 different heights. I'm going to keep mine this height. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee up, coming into the straight leg lunge. This energizes the legs, right? Press down through your feet. Let your front shin hug forward. See if you can let your hands be a little bit lighter. Take your gaze forward of your foot. Breathing gently. And then lower your back knee to the floor. All right, great. Let's switch legs. Bring that foot back. Bring the other foot forward. Make sure that your legs are hip width apart. Front knee is stacked over your ankle. Tuck your toes and extend back through your right heel, lifting the right knee off the ground. Keep lifting that right thigh. And then lower your back knee to the floor, bring the front foot back. Now let's move the blocks off the mat and do puppy pose, Anahatasana. So with your hips over your knees, bring the arms forward and let your chest release towards the ground. So your head is releasing, you're spreading your fingers. Let your shoulders roll outward from the back of your neck, broadening the upper back. And now inhale to come up. So that puppy pose is a great alternative to downward facing dog if you'd rather substitute that. And now we'll do downward facing dog and Mukha Svanasana. So I've walked the knees back a little bit so they're on an angle from your hips. Tucking the toes under, press down through your hands, lift the hips high, straightening your legs and looking back through your feet. And remember, if this doesn't feel comfortable in your body, if it doesn't make you happy, then come down and do puppy pose or child's pose. And let's take 3 full breaths here, really filling up the lungs and feeling the back body. Good, and then bring your knees back down to the ground. Okay, so if you've got blocks, you're going to move your blocks back in and step your right foot forward again. And then tucking the toes on your left foot, we're going to lift the left knee. And then I'm going to inch this back foot forward because I'm going to come into a forward fold. So I'm stepping it forward, either gradually or all in one big swoop, and fold forward. My knees are slightly bent. My hands could be on my thighs, or they could be on the blocks. And, you know, if you're practicing with care for your back, then you want to be sure that your head is above your hips. We don't want to go like full throttle. We want to keep that length through the spine and keep extending through the crown of the head if you're being careful of your back. Start to straighten your legs, lifting the back of your thighs. Okay, now bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips. We're coming up. Press down through your legs. Inhale, come all the way up. I know you can't see me. That's okay. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Join your hands together and bring them down to your heart. All right, I'm going to move my mat back a little bit, and you can remove the blanket from your mat and step to the front of your mat. So arrange your mat however it makes sense for you to be able to see what's going on, but still use it. Okay. All right. So, oops, back a little bit more there. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna still trying to get the hang of being a camera person. Okay, so let's stand tall in a nice mountain pose. We're going to do a few standing poses. So with your feet hip-width apart, lift and spread your toes. Feel the balls of your feet, feel your heels on the ground, that connection you have with the ground, with the floor, whatever surface you're standing on right now. Feel the energy in the legs. And then place your toes back down and release your arms down alongside of you. Turn your palms forward. Take your shoulders back and lift your heart. Now bend your knees, take your hips back, and bring your arms slightly forward. So from the side, it's harder to see front on, but you're coming into Utkatasana, the chair pose. And now straighten your legs, come back to mountain. Great. Let's do 2 of those, 2 more of those. Bend your knees, take your hips back, bring the arms forward. Doing great. Stand tall, bring your arms back down. One more time. Bend your knees, take your hips back. And then stand tall. Great. Okay, now step your feet out wide. So you could either turn your mat. Mine is lengthwise, or you could just turn your whole self and listen to me, or move your computer or your phone, whatever you're using to watch this on, so that you could see. If it's important for you to see, you might be able just to follow along by listening. So after you've stepped out wide, let's turn the left toes in and the right foot out a little bit. We're going to do warrior two. Now bend your front knee. Be sure that front knee is tracking with your second and third toe. You're extending powerfully through your back leg. And then bring your hands to your hips. Turn your torso outward towards that long edge of your mat there. And then bring your hands in front of your belly. And you can watch first for a moment. So I'm going to bring my hands up to my heart. I'm going to make fists like I'm gathering up any tension that I have in my body. And then I'm going to extend my arms out and release that tension, let it go. So it's hands in front of the belly first. I'm going to make fists. And then I'm extending out, letting go of anything that's blocking me from some joy. Okay? So let's do it together. So with your hands in front of your belly, gather up any tension you have in your body. Extend the arms out, release it with your light fingers, and now look over your right hand. Warrior two. Keep your chest open, your throat is spacious, your gaze is soft. Now the hand that you're looking over, let's turn that palm up to face the ceiling and reach it up and back. Rest your back hand on your back thigh, coming into the sun warrior. Honoring the sun, which is there today. It's behind the clouds, but it is here anyway. Wherever you are, it might be sunny, I don't know. And then come back to your warrior two. Release your hands, straighten your front leg, and turn your feet back to parallel. Right, let's go right to the second side. So turn your right toes in, turn your left foot out, bend your left knee. Bring your hands to your hips. So when you bring your hands to your hips, it's like you're aligning yourself towards that long edge of the mat. And then with hands in front of the belly, gather up whatever, is just your body's holding on to tightly, it's causing any tension, and then extend your arms out, release it, let it go. And look out over your left hand now. A soft gaze. Enjoy the feel of your breathing. Let yourself be nourished by your breath. Now the hand that you're looking over, let's turn that one up. Reach it up and back as you rest your back hand on your back thigh, sun warrior. Feel that length from your hip to your fingertips. Ready for spring. And then bring your arms back to warrior two. Lower your arms, straighten your front leg, turn your feet to parallel, and go ahead and step your feet together. And then do a little bit of the walking in place, unsticking of the heels from the mat. Okay, and then let your feet settle. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip width. Make sure you're not close to anything that you can bang your hands on, because we're going to do a little bit of twisting from side to side. So I'm going to have my knees slightly bent, my arms are relaxed, and then I'm going to just sway from side to side, right to left. Yeah, just like that. Good. Do one more to each side. And then come back to center. Okay, now it's time to come down to the floor. So make your way back down onto the ground and come onto your back. Remember, if when you lay on your back, your chin tilts up or you have any tension in your neck, you want to put a blanket underneath your head so you have that nice support. So come onto your back, get settled. And have your knees bent. There we are. And now I just noticed that I'm going to exceed my 30 minutes. I'm really trying to stay on time, but it's hard to break old habits. So we're going to be more like 40 minutes, just to let you know. Okay, so close your eyes, bring your hands to your belly. Slowly breathe in and out, feel your belly, press gently into your hands, and soften back. Let your lower back rest to the earth. Enjoy another 3 full breaths, feeling that pace of your belly moving, your hands moving with your breath. Okay, now let's hug the right knee into the chest. Keep the shoulders settled, face soft. Bring that foot down and switch legs. Bring your other knee into your chest. You can hold the knee, or you can have hands on the shin or the back of your thigh. And then bring that foot to the floor. Right, and then take your arms out from your shoulders, extend them out. I'm kind of close to the wall, so I'm just going to do one arm, which you can't see it anyway. So we're going to extend the arms out from the shoulders. And let the knees release to the left and look to the right, coming into a little twist here. Inhale to bring your knees back up, release them the other way, and turn your face towards your left hand. Inhale to bring your knees back up. Now hug your knees into your chest. Let your big toes touch. Separate your knees slightly. Let the head of your thighs settle back into your hips. Feel the back of your hips resting on the floor. And then just rock from side to side here. Then bring your knees in, bring your feet back to the floor. Okay, hug your right knee back into your chest. Bring the hands back to the back of the thighs, straighten your leg. And then just circle your foot a couple times in one direction. And then the other direction. And then do gentle point and flex of your foot. Okay, then still your foot, but have an active foot. Keep spreading your toes. Bring your left hand to the outside of your leg and bring that leg out to the side. So I'm bringing the top of my arm to the floor and using my arm like a pedestal for this leg, or a stand, like a kickstand for this leg, and I'm bringing it out to the side. Inhale, bring that leg back up, and we'll switch legs. Okay, bring the other knee into your chest. Bring your hands to the back of your thigh. Straighten your leg, circle your foot. Twirling and twirling, and then go the other way with your twirling. And then still your foot, then point and flex your foot. Okay, and then having a firm ankle and active foot, bring your hand to the outside of your leg, bring your left hand to the floor, and take the right leg out to the side. Inhale to bring that leg back up and place your feet on the floor. Okay. Hug your knees back into your chest again. And this time circle your knees. Keep them together and just go in big circles. Good. And go the other way. Yippers. And then bring your feet down to the floor. Let's do one more just stretch for the shoulders. So take your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, turn your palms inside out. If that feels okay on your wrists. If not, you can always have your palms facing towards you. But extend the arms back. And I'm not taking the arms all the way to the floor. I mean, you certainly could, but I'm most always careful of my neck because I've got some arthritis in my neck, different things going on with my neck. So I try to just be really mindful of any kind of exertion through the neck. But we're lengthening through the arms. Think of drawing your rib cage away from your waist. Take another big inhalation as you exhale. Release your arms down. And now it's time to get ready for resting for the last 5 5 minutes or so of our tape, or you could even take a longer Shavasana. I'm going to sit up, but you go ahead and get settled in, get comfortable. You might have a blanket underneath your head, or roll up a blanket, put it underneath your knees. I'm going to let my cat out, who has been locked in the bathroom mistakenly. I didn't intend to lock him in there. He goes in there and sits in the window, and I forget he's in there. So settle in now. Make sure that your body is completely comfortable. I'd like to read you this poem from Dana Fowles. It's called Awareness. Settle in the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning and drink this holy peace. Feel relief flood into every cell. Nothing to do, nothing to be, but what you are already. Nothing to receive but what flows effortlessly from the mystery into form. Nothing to run from or run toward, just this breath, awareness knowing itself as embodiment. Just this breath, awareness waking up to truth. Let your breath deepen. Gently inhale, filling up, and release the breath slowly, letting go. Let your muscles soften. Let your limbs release to the earth. Enter that space of stillness. slowly now bring your awareness to the fullness of your breathing. Feel your back body, all the places that the back of your body rests on the ground. And notice your hands and your feet, and as you feel ready, bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. You could circle your wrists, move your ankles. Maybe it would feel nice to take a stretch overhead or hug your knees into your chest. Move or stretch in any way that would feel nice for you now. And then go ahead and bend your knees and roll over to your side. Continuing to take care of yourself. And then press your hands into the floor to come back up to a comfortable seated position. And then after you're settled in once again, let's bring our hands to our heart in Anjali Mudra. So this yoga practice can be a wonderful constant in our lives right now. Even practicing some mindful breathing, just focusing on the breath or incorporating a yoga pose, a stretch that you like every day, it can really bring us back into our bodies and be one of those constants that we come back to, that it can help to ground us and to remind us of the stability that we can find within ourselves. And I'm so glad that you tuned in today. That's my cat Kismet, by the way. He's decided to join us. I'm so glad that you tuned in, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and let's stay connected. Namaste. Take care.